Hi, I'm James Dean Vogel of the Bioprocess Institute, and this is Between Two Ferrules. Today's guest is Genko Genev of G2 Technologies. I've worked with Genko for over 20 years, and we're here to talk about some of his products and the manufacturing that he does at G2 Technologies. Let's welcome Genko. Welcome, Genko. Glad to have you here at Between Two Ferrules.
Glad to be here.
So it's been a while. We've been trying to get you here and to talk to us. You're only around the corner here in Rhode Island with your manufacturing facility, but we're glad that you're here finally.
Yes, I'm glad to be here as well.
I think we met at the time, I think it was the Wyeth Immunex plant here in Rhode Island, right? So you were doing some work to help with the original phase when Enbrel, there was a shortage of Enbrel, and you were helping them to keep that plant running.
Yes, it does go back that far in 2001.
2001,
yes,
yeah.
that goes back that way. Yes, Wyeth, Immunex, and now Amgen, yes.
Yep. So we've crossed paths through various things and so on. So why don't you tell us a little bit about G&G and kind of how you got here? I know it's a pretty interesting story.
Yes.
With
yes,
how you got into
you.
this industry.
Well, as you mentioned, I started consulting back in 2000 and 2001 for what is now Amgen facility, and during my consulting short period, I saw the needs of a flexible solution provider that we can design and engineer and provide solutions to different problems in the industry. And that's triggered, and that's how I actually started G&G Technologies. And since then, we've basically been providing equipment and services for the pharma and biotech industry. So we can provide solutions to a problem starting from the design, the engineering, and the implementation and integration of either parts, components, equipment, and complete systems.
Yep, I've worked with you on quite a few projects, and I think one of the things is the flexibility of you and your staff and the speed that you can fabricate something and get it to the quality that you bring it. So whether it's electropolishing or other things, you're able to do, I think, some pretty high quality work.
Yes, thank you. We have been covering from all the way from thawing up the vials all the way to fill finish in terms of back in the old days, it was CAP, SAP, and now the industry has been switched to single use and this hybrid in between that involves and includes both processes in terms of reusable and single use.
Mm-hmm.
The components, we do small components, sub-assemblies, and complete systems. So we cover all of it, but lately we have been concentrating on single-use equipment and the design and engineering of the filling up the gap for the process needs.
So one of the things we've stressed quite a lot here, and we've talked to some of the past guests, is really the process and or the cells really don't care if it's in single use or multi-use. It's that we got to treat them correctly to make sure we have an aseptic, clean process and support the process parameters. I think one of the things that you're doing now is tell us a little bit about the G2 VersaFlow Pump. That's pretty novel with what you're doing there. So tell us a little about that.
Yes, the G2 VersaFlow Pump is basically a pump and a pumping technologies that utilizes different pumping
The actual heads of the
actual heads that already existing in the industry. So we took the peristaltic pump technologies, the diaphragm pump technologies, the centrifugal pump technologies, and even the piston pump technologies, and we incorporated those pumping heads and technologies into one platform. So what we saw the need is, so if somebody is doing an R&D and they want to try different pumping technologies, now they have the opportunity to do that very easily and quickly.
So one controller and they can look at different pumps.
So one controller, and you can rotate and switch different pumping heads and pumping technologies and test the performance of the fluids and the effect of the pumping technology on the process. So it's very easy. Instead of investing, for example, into 30 different pumping equipment, you can just basically have one pump controls and just rotate and switch the pumping heads. And that will give you basically everything that you need to know what's for the most common pumping technologies right now in the industry that are used for the processing of the
Nice.
manufacturer.
How do the controls interface? Can that interface with the common platforms such as Delta V or Allen Bradley?
Yes. So the control technologies that we're using right now, it's a PLC-based controls. We're using Unitronics and Allen Bradley that could be very easily integrated with the Delta V platform. We can also add an additional instrumentation, valves and components, and additional pumps. So the main pump is going to house the main controller, and then from there on you have the options to integrate with either Delta V or any other communication platforms that you might choose. And you also can control this remotely from the comfort of your office.
Okay. And then with these multiple pumps or these larger things, I think it's a natural progression that then integrates into like your skid components and maybe a TFF or something like that, right?
Yes, that is correct. The pump can be as simple as a on-off, start-stop, and the speed controls. You have the options to have an additional flow control. You have the option to have a pressure control and add an additional sensors. Now you take the same pump and add an additional pumping heads that are communicating with the main controller, and all of a sudden now you have two pumps or three pumps that you can very easily convert into LMP, T-mixing skids, and TFF skids.
Nice.
As well as these pumping systems can operate in a clean room environment and also in a classified environment. So it can be used in a hazardous spaces, Class 1 Div 2 environment.
So you got all those ratings for the motors and the enclosure. And
yes,
so on. Okay.
we have provisions for classified spaces, and we comply with the CE and NATEX as well, and same as the Class 1 Div 2 on the U.S. market.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, I think the link will be at the end of the podcast here if you want to contact G&G on the G2 VersaFlow Pump. And then you also have some other products that you have, right? You have the skids that we talked about, and then tubing management and mixing and some other things, right?
Yes, we do have plenty of tubing management parts and components that will be very easily integrated with the pump, VersaFlow Pump. We have the Flex Card that can accommodate many different components used upstream or downstream of the pumping. Load cells, additional instrumentation, additional valves, components, filters. You can add and subtract and very easily move and relocate parts, components, tubing, and those kind of things. We also can do the design and engineering of larger systems and anything in between. We have pass-through windows that we've been very successfully selling in the industry, where you can pass tubing or cabling from one environment to another.
Yep.
And it's very easily adaptable to the industry because it's not a specially molded connectors between the pass-through, but it's just the gate that seals around the tube. It's what
It's a nice compact system that I think can be integrated rather quickly and help you keep the integrity of the clean room as you're passing tubing or other things between
Yes.
the areas.
Yes, and we also have that into a fire-rated version as well.
Okay. Wow, that's great. That's great. I know you've been, as we said, we've known each other for over 20 years, and you've seen a lot here and all. What advice would you give a young person in this industry? What are some of the keys to success for someone to be successful in the bioprocess industry?
Well, in my mind, I think the key is really paying attention to the details. And I say a lot of times, there's no shortcuts. You have to go through the steps. You have to go through the details and design and engineer a system that it will be tailored around the process. So once we understand the process, then we're trying to provide the solution around the process.
Yeah,
So,
like we say here, the process is king or queen, and then you got to support it.
that is correct. And it starts from the process. And a lot of the times I have always preached that the most important thing in my mind is to keeping it clean. It starts from the cleaning, and it has to be clean, free of contamination, and it goes from there. It has to be able to be made to print, it has to look new, it has to be square and plumb, so on and so forth. It has to last, it has to work, and if it's more than one piece, they have to be the same. It keeps on going. So I have 10 things that actually condense from the PPE specification and all the other standards in the industry. And in my opinion, it comes down to those 10 things. And if you follow those 10 things, my advice to the people that are trying to get in this industry is there's no shortcuts. Follow those 10 things and you'll have no problem in the industry. You'll trouble-free.
I know you're an avid boater, so what's the best thing about owning a boat?
Well, the best thing about owning the boat is probably when you're selling it, but besides the fact is it gives you the freedom. It gives you the freedom to enjoy. And we live here in the best country in the world, and one of the best states in the country. And the weather is really nice here, especially in the summer months. So it's very nice to enjoy and kind of living the American dream.
Okay, excellent. And you also on a plane too, right? So you fly too.
I like to fly as well, and again, that goes around to the freedom that we have here in this country.
Okay. Well, that's great. So we again appreciate you here. You have the link here to see G&G Technologies and talk about the VersaFlow Pump and the other products there. And we look forward to seeing you on our next Between Two Ferrules, and also look for our Bioprocess Bites series that is out there too. And be sure to subscribe and like the podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.